Zoom plus YouTube.
Sounds like a motion.
It looks like you're live now on YouTube.
Excellent. Well, why don't we go ahead and call this meeting to order then? Please stand and we'll do the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I was counting on the way down, and it has been 15 months since we've actually gotten to meet in a council session, or at least in an open council session. So. Excellent. Well, why don't we go ahead and call this meeting to order then? Please stand. United States of America and to the republic stands one. I would like to move any of the consent agenda off of the consent agenda for regular discussion.
I'd like to move that for discussion.
Okay, moving F off, and we will then move that right up after the, I guess we move it up in the staff reports discussions. Anything else, Barb? No? Joe? No. Okay. Okay. Then with that, discussion regarding community garden water billing. Do we have Serenity?
She didn't think she could come from Trooper. No, looks like she was gonna try to send Sam. Sam on at all?
Not yet.
Okay, so mine just taking a look at this real quick, it looks like the two that used to take care of the garden. If I'm not misunderstanding this, one has moved. And they're looking at trying to keep it going. Both gardeners are moved away. One to illness and one moved away.
So it's Mr. Longacre has expressed his desire to kind of step into that.
Vicki, do we have any more insight into this in terms of kind of what their grand vision might be? What they're hoping to try to do?
I have as much information as what you have here. She was asking if they could continue on with the program with the city allowing the taking over the bill or whatnot, like you guys agreed to do with the farmers market. And I said that, council would need to verify that if you wanted to continue with that program.
Okay, Melinda, do we know how much water has been basically used in the last year? Because it's been about a year, right? Maybe almost longer than a year.
Well, we went to look that up before we came into the
But
meeting.
you knew what we were gonna ask.
Yeah, yeah. And there's an issue and there's no history. It looks like the account, when it was approved, got disconnected and for some reason there's no consumption report
She
there.
final billed it, and so
they've used no water.
that's something that's on my list.
Okay.
Well, these look
Another thing
like
on my list
soaker
to figure
hoses.
out what she did and how she did it.
These look like soaker hoses and those don't use a lot of water.
No, it looks like they're putting in pretty water efficient watering methods. I don't see big sprinklers going.
Was the purpose of this garden, I mean,
It's one of the things we don't know. I see a lot of flowers and it's very pretty, but I thought it was going to be used mainly for like vegetables.
That's what the goal is. And I think that's what their goal still is. I think what they're trying to figure out is long-term, if they're gonna be able to get gardeners to come back in. So when I read the letter, at least what I took away from the bottom part is they're still hoping to see a community garden take on. They just don't know if it's gonna be successful in the long run. They don't have a lot of participants.
I think these are some existing growth from previous years. I know this one. The shrub because mass amounts of leaves fall to it. The purple, and that's definitely more than just 1 year. So I think they want to maintain this there this season. Maybe next year. Proper personnel behind it. True.
Community garden, yeah. In terms of what they plan to do in terms of fencing or other, I'm not sure what they're trying to do. It'd be nice to know, but it's definitely better than a vacant lot.
Yes.
This looks like they've replaced the fence posts. And they're in the process, if you look at this back one, there's some new fence posts. It looks like the fence may be brought down. And now they're replacing those to bring it up, and she's just letting us know that they are currently doing some work on it. Just to match. I'm not charging them a lot.
And it also looks like if you look at the front garden boxes,
Yeah.
some of them, they've got some new wood on that.
It's not trashy, it's not run down.
No,
So I think because they're putting forth the effort.
probably putting a lot more in it than maybe what the water costs. Price of wood.
It would be nice to know how much was used, but quite honestly, I don't have an issue consuming it. It's no different than watering up the park. I don't think anyone's benefiting off of it, that I can tell. Or at least benefiting financially. They're not taking vegetables out of it. No one's being kicked out of it. I think it's still open to anyone that wants to sign up and use it, is it not? I guess we have to ask.
You can say that's not a city function.
No.
That was a private entity that we were.
Right.
She estimated. I thought it was $100.
That might have been the past one that they were.
I think that's what we were told last time. It was about that much. I think that's what Mike pretty much came back with. I guess my standpoint is I don't mind continuing to do this for another season to see if we can get gardeners to get in there. It's a very small thing for the community, and it's a lot better than having a vacant lot growing out with a bunch of weeds.
Well, yes, and my other thought is, if, since people are able to meet again and everything else, people might want to get together and do that as a community project, right? And seeing their fellow neighbors and everything else that maybe that have been holed up in their houses and whatnot, so.
Hopefully, we'll see a lot more people getting out now. Going through, James, do you have any, I don't know if you need a consensus on this, Vicky, or if you need a motion.
I think that you should do a motion for it. That way it makes it more efficient.
That's fine. I would like to make a motion then that the city continue assisting or paying the water for the community garden for the next fiscal season, I guess would be the best way to put it.
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay. I'm happy to see that you're right. I didn't notice the silver hoses, but that's actually there. Okay, mayor or council presentations. Last time we met, there was a request that we do a quick shout out to everyone that, at least that I can get in terms of names, that helped out during the winter storm event that happened. And I know I am going to miss a lot on here, so I'm hoping other counselors might have additional names, because I would like to get everyone's name read in who actually I know participated. And I would obviously like to start off with Rocky Sherwood here, his son, who managed keeping those dumpsters moving, cleared out. You cut your leg but you kept moving it. If it wasn't for that, we would have never gotten those cleared out. But on top of that, Emilio Rodriguez, Brittany Bones, Jason Rice and Charlie Rice. I gotta tell you, those Rice brothers were driving around in their little tractor mower for days and weeks after that, always asking anyone, do you need help? Do you need help clearing this? Something else for young kids at that age, 14 years old, to be going around and doing that. Aaron Orr and his family, who also helped out, by the way, on the disc golf course. They're always out and helping out. Counselor Dodge and her husband. And I say that because I know she came over and offered help when I was out working on my house. And I said, oh no, they need help down there. And she went down and they just, again, got out and did the work. I only can really say what happened on this side. I don't know what happened on that. So I'm hoping you guys have more names. Additional New Vision Landscape, Hammerhead Charters, Medina's Towing, Oregon Turf for keeping our generators filled for those first week until we were able to get it, or at least for a couple of days until we got the rest in there. Public Works for getting out helping. Mike being out that evening, driving around, watching branches fall with me in front of my house. That was fun. Generally speaking, those are the names I gathered, and I know I've missed a lot. So anyone else have other names that they would like to add that they know for individuals that might have been out there?
I know our neighbor Jared was helping a lot of people around our area. I don't know his last name. I just know his first name.
Yes, there's another gentleman, I wish I knew his name, who loaned me his dump trailer to help move stuff out. I forgot his name, and huge thank you. He just showed up and just, here, use it. It was quite amazing. James, do you know anyone that I might have missed?
Particularly Ray DeBrava and Phil Gianelli.
Yes.
For getting in the middle of it when it was field time.
Robert, did I miss anyone that you might know off the top of your head? Tyler, anyone? Okay, I'm sure there are others that we have missed. This was, of course, 6 months ago, and this town is slowly still recovering, but a huge shout out to this community that came together in a time of crisis to help each other out. One of the reasons why we live here, that's for sure.
Actually, was it you guys down there at the Veterans Park?
Yeah.
Cutting up the trees? I did see that.
And there were
firsthand.
people that stopped by and helped us too, but I didn't get names.
I know, it was just the community coming together. So many people showed up at my house with chainsaws. I'm like, I'm afraid someone's gonna cut their leg off. We've got enough. But it was amazing, the amount of people that showed up to help.
And the fact that they cleaned up all those split trees.
And the memorial was great. And go ahead.
Don't want to toot our own horn, but as soon as we finished up with Ripley's Park, my crew of 4 people went down and gathered up all the branches at the Veterans Park, and Charlie actually blew up his motor on his lawnmower, dragging the stuff down from the top of the hills. But we even had Cole, that special needs kid, helping us clean it down there. So
It looked great. I remember stopping by and talking to you one day while you were cleaning up. It was weird because it was a sunny day. Well, thank you. I wanted to do that shout out. And again, it was something that James brought up and I want to make sure you got it right in. So thank you, everyone that participated and helped. James, anything you would like to present?
Council presentations, no, I can't say again.
Okay. Michelle?
Community parade is happening on Saturday at 10. If people want to participate, then we would ask that people show up about 9:30 or earlier near Moonbeam Court, I think it is, Moonbeam and 3rd. And they will be lining people up. Maureen Eldon will be in charge of the community parade. That will happen, and it's going to follow the same route as 2 years ago for the Hop Festival parade. So anybody can do it.
Anyone can do it. Tyler? Robert?
Nope, I'm good.
Oh man, I thought you had stuff you were gonna add on. That's why I kept you last. If no other presentations, then let's move on to staff reports. We'll start off with the police department, and I know Chief Rash is out enjoying himself. But we have Sergeant Anderson here today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sergeant Anderson, Hubbard Police, sitting in for Chief Rash, who is vacationing out of state, having a great time, I'm sure. So you have the chief's report. A couple of things to add. I didn't make it to the active shooter training the rest of the guys went to because I was on vacation. Officer Bentley went to it. I heard from the other guys that it was exceptional training. This is something we typically do every year, at least one time. We try to do it as often as we can. It's pretty intense training. It's necessary. But these guys went through it and gained a lot from it. Not a whole lot to add other than the block party, or correction, the National Night Out. We've had actually two parties so far set. We didn't have any up till recently. We expect to have more. I'd like to get at least a half dozen. So, aside from that, we've been busy. So,
Well, excellent. Council, any questions for the police?
No,
For me.
thank you.
Thank you. How was it on 4th of July? Was it pretty quiet around here?
it definitely worked. I was actually at home and it was a little noisy, but not like usual. So, he handled a couple of things. We had never fight a fire in town.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought we had a tree burned down somewhere.
We did, and that person was taken into custody and cited as he should have been, so.
Good.
We dealt with that.
Thank goodness it didn't get any worse, but thank you. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we'll just move on to, what is the next one? Hubbard Fire District. Chief Fudge.
Mayor Calvert, thanks for having me again. We've got, with the continued dry conditions, we do have a burn ban in effect in all of Marion County. We expect that to continue until the fall, because until we get some significant rain. We did make it through the 4th of July without any significant incidents other than the arborvitae fire. So we're thankful for that. And we do have resources deployed right now to the Klamath Falls area from the Hubbard Fire District. We have one tender down there with 2 members of the fire district.
I'm glad we're able to help out.
Thank you.
Any questions for Chief Fudge? Okay, we'll move on to Administrative Department, and Vicky, we'll let you go with that one. And we do have the one consent agenda F. And if I don't know if you want to bring it up for discussion when you do your update.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of give you an update on the planning commission position. At the last meeting, we talked about amending the code to allow potentially a 3rd outside member. I have the attorney working on that, and in the meantime, I have 2 applications right now for the planning commission position. I'd already have the agenda done, and I thought maybe you might want to discuss it further at the August meeting, but I do have one application that's inside the city limits and the other one is outside the city limits. So,
Since a meeting in July has been canceled, I don't care if we wait until August. I know the one outside, we'd be great to consider both candidates. I know the inside candidate, so either or, I'm perfectly fine with waiting. But I'll leave it to council. What would you guys like, James? Sure. Okay, August. We'll just push that till August.
okay. And then you requested to have the one item removed from the consent agenda.
For regular discussion, you've actually got the write-up in your.
Yes. Did you have questions about that?
Brothers?
I have a concern, actually, not about the person that this is regarding, but just the process. So if I understand right, this person's hire date, anniversary date is September 23rd.
Mhm.
And so you want to not only give this person a step increase 2 months early, but you want to give this person 2 step increases.
Mhm.
And I would like some justification for that. That seems above and beyond what we've done for other employees, at least in my tenure of 3 years, so.
Actually, we have had other employees that skipped 2 steps.
But 2 months early,
Well, the reason for the 2 months early is because she has been doing duties outside of her normal tasks. And I wanted to come to the council earlier, but knew that we didn't have the extra money into the budget. And so now that we have the budgeted funds in there, that's why I'm approaching you now about it. Because I feel that she has gone above and beyond what she's doing, and it's giving her a little extra for what she is doing. It's not, I'm not requesting outside of her salary schedule where some places you would give them out of their salary schedule while they were doing those other duties for other tasks. I'm just requesting an early payout for what she was doing. Because I feel that she's earned it.
Well, I'll say I'm in favor of it. I think Julie's a great employee. I think she works really hard, and I think, like you said, she's been taking on a lot more work since we're down one head count, so I'm in favor of it.
Thank you.
I would concur with Tyler on that one. Julie stepped up and she's been collecting a lot of actually the outstanding debts that were out there for the water bills and been running those down. Done a lot of work, for sure.
No one's questioning her work ethic or the amount of work. I'm questioning the process that you're putting forth. It's my understanding we have a process in place for giving step increases in addition to the yearly step increase. And this seems outside of that. And so that's the justification I was asking for. No question about the amount of work. In fact, I commented, as well as other people in this council have commented positively on a regular basis. So her work is not the question here. I'm questioning the process.
I'm sure.
James, Michelle, do you guys have any concerns on this process? It's a good point to make, Carter.
I can understand Robert's stance on this. I'm not down here to know one way or the other. The city's running very efficiently right now. We're still down a position. I do believe she has stepped up. If her boss, per se, feels that this is in the right move, then I have no reason to doubt that.
Michelle?
I'm in agreement. You look at what she's done the last 6 months. So she's doing huge workload over the last 6 months. And I think that, yes, we could wait until September, but to show our faith and our appreciation for what she has done, keeping things running and everything else, I'm in favor with it.
You're okay with an out of process type? Tyler, are you okay with an out of process?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it.
Now, Robert, would you like us to keep this in consent agenda or have it pulled out and just do a side motion?
I'd like to do it side motion.
Okay, we can do that.
I make a motion to approve out of process the move for Julie from step D to step F as outlined in Vicky's report.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those in favor, or sorry, all those opposed, say nay. Okay.
I believe Robert does not want this to become one.
That's, I think, why he's bringing it
Every
up.
time we turn around, somebody's getting 2, 3, what is?
Yep. And my apologies, Robert. I did not mean to make it sound like you did not appreciate it. Anything else on before Vicky on your report?
I appreciate administrative staff doing stuff in the newsletter, particularly what I sent in, both
Oh, sure.
chief and scouting.
You bet.
Thank you.
And I will try to get my submission in on time.
I'll remind you.
I know. Any questions for Vicky? James? Michelle?
No.
Robert?
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
So is there anything that public can volunteer for to help out? I mean, I realize that we're short-staffed. I just haven't gotten a call or a text message recently, so I'm feeling to,
Right, I know we tried to coordinate that with you before, but,
I have a weird schedule.
I know. Actually, yeah, right around the 15th, is when it's busy. The first part of the months are busy. That's when, especially every other month, we have court payments coming in, court going on, water payments coming
You know,
in.
willing volunteer, you know that, so just get a hold of me.
Yeah, so we have the 15th, so
The 15th.
give you a buzz and see what you guys want.
But, yeah, that's third.
That was my question.
I was gonna say, it's like this Thursday, right?
And we have water shut off too, that's almost.
Water shut off. It's been a little crazy because we had to throw in some extra. The place has been really busy, so we had to throw in some extra ports. So we've got to burn down water and, yeah.
All right, any other questions in for Vicky? If not, let's move right on to Public Works.
So I just have one thing to add to our report, which is our well number one situation. We did actually receive, and Westerberg Drilling was able to install their replacement motor. And as of this morning, the well is back up in service, and knock on wood, is running smoothly. So we'll just continue to monitor it, but everything is looking smooth sailing at least for a while.
Thank goodness. Did we see a pretty good dip after that heat wave on water usage?
I wouldn't say a huge bit, honestly. Yeah. It honestly didn't raise as much as I would have thought that it would. So, but then it stayed pretty static because then we had, you know, the 90 degree weather, which, although after the 117, that felt pretty cool, but yeah. So.
Awesome. I only have a few things for you then. Item number 6, I want to add in there that Amber Castile, a high school student, is the one who painted those boxes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And no, that's fine. I don't think I gave you that, or if I gave you that name, it might have been lost, but she did a fabulous job. I like how she incorporated the city into it. And then the only other thing is a shout out. Thank you for getting that, for Public Works getting the fountain back on. It was down for a very short time and boy, people love it. And you guys got it rectified and back up very quickly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But with that, we'll go opposite way. Tyler, any questions for Public Works? Robert?
No, thank you for getting the projects done. Like that G Street.
Michelle?
No questions from
James?
Of course. I have a question.
Nothing wrong with that.
With fire hydrants, is that a public works thing? Like,
For float test or.
there's a fire, there is actually a fire hydrant on the corner of 3rd and F. You can't see it because it's got one of those round rings around it. And the weeds have grown up.
Oh, the front of the Hubbard Inn.
Yes. in front of the
Yeah,
house.
actually, we can.
I didn't know if that was a. And then lastly, on B Street between 9th and 10th. I was concerned because Comcast cut a hole in the sidewalk and then shoved asphalt into it and not concrete
In the sidewalk.
in the side. So now we have a big black patch of asphalt in a fairly good size hole that should have been concreted over. If there are any other Comcast concerns, is that something we should be setting in mind?
Yes, and
Oh,
actually
you-
he copied me too.
Okay.
And then the Comcast, at least, that I've been working with my contacts, he's been pretty responsive. And he's even shared a direct number that people can call our residents or businesses who are concerned about, you know, something didn't happen how they thought, or they didn't, they got notified. And he has been pretty responsive, so I'm pretty good. They have done several water line repairs, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, then if you send it to me, then I can pass that on.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah, I've walked around to see what they're doing because I know we've had a couple of complaints. And I wanted to see if it was really bad. And I've actually seen them matching bark dust
Right.
colors and everything else. So I'm surprised that there's a big
Did you see
asphalt
it?
There's a few
patch.
of those, yeah. There's another one between 6.
If we can gather those up, that'd be great. I'd like to see them actually do concrete those, considering it's expensive enough to put sidewalks in. I
Right.
don't want
Yeah.
to see the cities, it's, you know, or even the development where you have those sidewalks around.
Otherwise, I'm really happy to see stuff working out on the sidewalk between the railroad tracks.
Yeah. Oh,
3rd Street.
I'm sorry.
Up
I
to
did
you.
have one other thing to add. I'm glad you said that because I almost forgot. So we did get, excuse me, from our project engineer for that project. He did reach out to Union Pacific, and assuming that they aren't going to give us any type of variance for their cost, what they estimated it would be to do the railroad part of it would be almost 42,000. And then for us to do the remaining on the east side of the tracks would be, we approximated about 8,000. So we're looking at about 50,000 if we were just to do it as it is now. I know there was some consideration of maybe using that for, using the community. funds for that.
But we're at least gonna do third
Yes,
to the
yes,
tracks.
we are on track to do.
They're up too close to the tracks, right?
Right,
close
too
to-
close to the tracks. I think it's like 50, 55 feet, but upward we have complete control of it. And that's, as soon as the PGE pole gets relocated, then the contractor is on that.
This is one of those that I've tried to be on top of, and I come to realize wheels of progress move ever so slowly. when it comes to-
Bring the Union Pacific it in does. I had a question then too. I had that one citizen along Third Street ask about trimming back the bushes along the rails along Third Street, A Street down to whatever the end is. Did we ever hear back from Union Pacific? on
I
that one?
haven't heard back, but I sent out a letter, an official letter, and asked them to take care of that, and that was with the last contact that I had for them, and I do have it on my list to follow up with them, because as of now, I haven't heard back anything, so.
I can just see that they're concerned with the heat, the sparks from the track.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can have a spark up and before you know it, get a fire.
But I will follow up, so at least we know one way or the other, and make sure that he is still the right person. to-
Thank you. So with that, any additional questions of Public Works?
I don't know if it's Public Works or whatever. James started talking about the Hubbard Inn. And I don't know that I've seen them doing any work lately, and the weeds are getting pretty high around there, which is a worry for fire season and everything else.
On that, I believe that actually a letter did have one.
Okay.
Through the assessor, that is actually the property manager of that, so.
It looks like they're gutting it. I saw a big dumpster out there.
That's fine, but clean up.
Right, right.
Clean-
They need to keep.
But the outside needs to
outside,
still be tidy.
yes.
I just issued a building permit for a remodel and inside that building.
Maybe that's one.
We can,
Okay, any other questions for Public Works? Speaking of Union Pacific, here comes the train. Okay, with that, let's go on discussion regarding the July 17th, 2021 community kickball game. Rocky, you want to come up and give us an update?
Well, what do you want to say?
Right there, yeah.
Well, first of all, thanks for allowing me to come and participate in the meeting, Mayor Costello, and thanks for the fire department coming out to meet us tomorrow to hose down the infield, and thanks for Public Works allowing us to drag and clean up 90% of the weeds out there. And so where we're at right now is we're going to have the event from 1 to 6. We contacted Velma Barnesy. We met her out there at the park when we were going over strategies with Public Works and how we can do to flip that park and make it look presentable for people to come out and rent the park. It'll look like the Wilsonville Park's nice and clean, and replace the boards and paint, have a good day there. So Public Works has been real awesome working with us because we all have the same vision. We just got to go in the steps. So I'm real happy with Public Works. And we're gonna have Velma Barnesy roll out the first pitch. And so she's looking forward to that. She's been calling me every day, so. And she's gonna also ride in my vehicle during the parade and wave to everybody. And so it's pretty awesome that she's willing to back that up, so.
I gotta say, Rocky, it's impressive how you're able to get these things organized and then find these just pillars of different parts of the community and daughters and just get them tied into it. It's impressive.
I got bored when I first moved around, I ain't gonna lie. I served under the Palin organization up in Alaska. I helped her as she was governor and helped her as she got into, I helped her with Mayor Wausau and did the Winter Warrior thing. So it's great that you guys allow me to do this because it helps me do my time and give the citizens of Hubbard what they deserve and events. So I'm happy to do it.
Well, I'm hoping to see the kickball thing become annual, that's for sure.
It will be. And we got the parade already organized for this year and the holiday truck, so we're good. We're on all cylinders.
Excellent. Questions for Rocky from the council? Tyler? Robert?
None.
Michelle?
Nope.
James? All right, then we're gonna move on to consent agenda, and hopefully I don't mess any of this up. So on the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes, May 11th, 2021 City Council, and June 8th, 2021 City Council. Approval of the June 2021 check register report. Approval of a 2% incentive pay increase for Tim Steele, Utility Worker 1, for obtaining the Cross Connection Specialist certification effective May 1st, 2021. Approval of Goldie Haley, request to reserve Rivinus Park, August 15th, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Authorized to waive the $100 cleanup fee for Barnsley Park ball fields reservations for the community kickball game. And approval to move Steve Hollyman, police officer, from step C to a step D effective July 16th, 2021.
I make the motion, we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those, okay, actually, it passes unanimously. Okay, discuss the use of funds from the Community Prosperity Initiative Program. Who's on this one? We don't have a name on it.
Well, at the last meeting, we discussed, getting information for doing the comprehensive plan update. And I contacted the Mid-Atlantic Council of Governments, that's who we had out here before. And she provided an amount for you and to do that, and also an amount to do an urban growth expansion study. That was one of the things that you talked about at the last meeting that you might want to use the funds for.
It's about 39,500.
Yes, total, if you're gonna do both of them, yes. Approximately.
When are we required to do that study?
Well, you have to do it every so many years, and I thought at the time that she came out here, she had said when the next one was due, but I don't see that she had wrote that. I don't think that she's written that in this proposal.
Seems like we've done a lot of studies, and I'm trying to keep them all straight in my mind, from wastewater to master water to, I'm sure I'm butchering them all. But it seems like we've done a lot of studies. I'm just kind of curious, what does this one actually do?
So the comprehensive plan study is the one where they take a look at the population, inventory of lands and the usable lands of what is required. And that's what this would entail.
Right.
So I would have to look and see when the next one is due. I don't have that information. I was thinking she had told us at a previous meeting, but I don't have it off the top of my head.
That's fine.
Can we table this until August then?
I'm sorry?
Can we table this until August?
Oh, you sure can. We just have to have the funds spent by the end of the year, or at least starting the project of spending the funds. So the other thing is that when we did the, I think I sent you guys a goal setting. We talked about using some of those funds to, that was gonna pay for the goal setting. And it took really a long time for us to get an invoice, and I sent you this email. So I didn't know if you wanted to still use those funds for this, or if you wanted to spend the funds out of somewhere else to pay for this invoice.
What was the invoice? Was it like
It's
$1,500?
$1,500.
I thought we already had it budgeted anyhow.
It was coming out of this.
Out of this?
Out of this money.
Oh,
Originally, that was the discussion.
And this is the 4,500.
45,000.
45,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a bill we already paid.
Right.
Feels like a black bill anyways. Yeah, there was. I don't have any preference. I mean, it's still coming out of the budget one way or the other. My hope is to see that money that came to the city go to something that's gonna truly benefit the city. I felt the goal setting session, although valuable, didn't quite live up to what I was hoping was gonna come out of it. I'm assuming, I would just say keep the 45,000 intact for now and just pay the 1,500 as a normal bill. Yeah, and then we try to find something to use that 45,000 that's gonna, well, it's for the, if the council so deems it, the urban growth boundary study, otherwise I'd really love to see it go to something that's gonna benefit the community. One way to say it like that.
Like, we have
Yeah, sidewalks.
we have a professional services split that we do across the board, all departments, and I can do it that way if you want me to.
Yeah, I would like to get some ideas, just, I'm sure council would like to see the ideas too. But you know, this is an opportunity to really do something, I mean, we've been investing back in the city. Public Works has been doing a great job with the roads resurfacing, seeing some of the sidewalks on G Street going.
Are you talking about the split for the 1,500? Yes, I think we should just do the split for the 1,500.
Yeah.
And then we can look at what the
I agree.
45,000 can go towards
Okay.
in the future.
So we'll just, did you guys just want to push this off until August? Is that what you want to do?
The discussion of what to use the money for?
The 45,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 1,500 you can take out of that split.
Okay.
And do you think,
That's,
well, and if we're pushing it off until August, are there things that maybe the council as well as staff would come up with ideas to use that for?
I think it'd be a nice idea. Well, we know Robert's in favor of sidewalks, so. I'm in favor of sidewalks too, by the way.
And I thought that, well, Mike is on now, but I thought that was one of the things that he was supposed to come back with, and maybe he provided information to Melinda about the sidewalk project.
Well, on the sidewalk project, the East Route I already mentioned.
Yep.
That I knew that was maybe being considered for using those funds for. The other one that that Mike had also mentioned would be potentially, if we're kind of on the sidewalk theme, of maybe improving the sidewalks on Third Street between A and B streets, at least on, you know, the housing side, so not on the railroad side, but where there isn't any now, but that was another area that we could consider.
Do you have a cost?
I don't have an exact cost yet on that, but it would be, I can definitely get that for the next.
Wonderful. Anyway, my hope would be to see that money go. I mean, I think the last meeting is when we actually got the first check. The actual last open meeting in this building. So let's actually see it now turn all the way around and do something for the city on that. Any other discussion that are on the funds? Other than that, we'll just move the rest of the discussion to August 13th. Is the next meeting? August meeting. Let's move on. Appearance of, before I move on, Michelle. Oh, time was on. Anything else on these discussions before we move on? James, Michelle, Tyler? If not, then let's go ahead. Appearance of district citizens? The gathering, everyone just looks so, just do. This is a chance for anyone that has any comments to step up and speak. And it's just great because it's usually on the phone and we're waiting for silence for a while. So now I can stare at everyone and say, "Oh."
I did, as we've been, doing work at the park, I talked to Melinda and I'll try to get some estimates for some spike drags and some field drags for the park. But I think that'd be something that we need to put in that utility room over at Barnsey so we can preserve our parks. So when we go to rent them out, they don't look like a homeless camp. They look nice and groomed, which I don't mind putting forth the effort. But in return, I'm gonna need stuff to work with, like a spike drag. Right now, I'm borrowing it from North Marion. But we're gonna need, and then we dropped off the field drag today at the welding place to weld up. But we probably need to look at getting some more, like a better field drag and some maybe attachments for the lawnmower, like a tiller to go on the back of the tractor. That way we can drag the fields and groom them so they don't look like they do now. And then if I can get the blessing of you guys, I don't mind getting this crew together and then putting in some hours on the park, 'cause that's my backyard pretty much, and I wanna make it look like $100,000.
I'm thinking as soon as you work, as long as you guys are working through Mike and Melinda, we're fine. Public involvement in the parks and keeping it clean. And if they have any concerns, they'll bring it to the council's attention, but other than that, yeah, just keep working through Mike and Melinda. And, these fields are definitely, I love walking around that area, so it's a beautiful park. Okay,
Can I say something?
yes, you may.
Well, Linda Kosinski, 409 8th Street. I know this has been brought up before on Zoom, but I would like to know how city council feels about the hedge down on 99 East Centennial Park. And I think it was approved to maybe do something if we can get the funds.
You mean like remove it and put a fence in, or?
Yes. If that's what the city council wants. Sometimes I'm talking to people and I feel like I'm the only one that wants to get a job. And I think my husband would agree. But, if that's the way, if they really like that hedge there, I would, I'll just drop it. But I have been trying to get some samples of fencing. I think Melinda said it was like 263 feet there. So that's a long area. But the hedge to me is just really bad. I think that it's, a lot of it dead. There's a lot of bushes in there that have thorns, wildberry, ivy's growing up in there. And I've known for years, my husband and I have been trimming it. And we're just getting a little older. And I guess our bones are starting to feel it. So that was a suggestion that I really wanted to know how, people do feel about it. Because if they like what's down there, and, there's enough manpower for public works to go in there and trim that, then I'm not gonna go and look anymore. Because, it is some like work and I don't mind doing it. Because I think a fence would enhance that area. I have asked Vicki and Julie, you're one of them, to put something in Facebook for donations. Because it's hard to get volunteers to do fundraisers.
Mhm.
And I know I've done a lot of them for the city in the past years, but it's hard to get people to do it now. Tyler, your wife was offered to help too. So I thought if we could just get donations, see how much money we come up with, that's one thing. But another thing is if they don't want that removed. So,
I have no preference on the hedge. I'm not a fan of hedges. Because as you said, there's a lot of maintenance to keep them up, keep them cut. I'm not sure how Public Works feels about it, but I'm assuming you have to worry about it when someone's out there cutting the grass.
Right, and I agree, and I think we did talk about it in one of the council meetings, and Linda has been doing what she had said that she indicated that she would do. And I know that they worked very diligently to try to bring that hedge back to life, but there's some spots where they would plant new ones and they just wouldn't take. And so I do think, I agree, I think that it does need to have something.
So the donations, do you want to set that up then through the city so individuals that donate can get it tax written or have a tax write-off for it?
well, that's kind of how you got it, the Frisbee part,
Mhm.
didn't you?
It is.
So, I am no longer part of Covered Parks, and it's not around improvement. And so we don't have a nonprofit organization to say, hey, it's nonprofit, you can take it off on your taxes. So I don't know how that works. So I understand they went on their own and got the funds.
Yep, they went out and solicited it, and then they were donated into the city. So then at the time it was Judy, who I believe was taking the funds and writing receipts for them. Is that something we can do for this as well?
That's exactly what should happen. The money should come to the city and it will go into a fund that's marked, park fence or Centennial Park fence or whatever. And then when there's enough money in there to purchase a fence, then we would she cut the invoice or cut the check and look at the materials for the fence or whatever is gonna happen.
And I'd like to get a pricing from whatever company, we could get, for installation and, I mean, because we can't put it in. And so, with installation included in that. I understand there's specific, fencing and wire in Clackamas, somewhere in the Clackamas Town Center. And that was gonna be the next place I was gonna go because they have all kinds of fencing. I went to Rick's and very spendy.
Here's it.
And they're kind of limited too, but I understand this other place has a lot. And Handy Builders actually is the one that told me about it, so.
I say, see if you can figure out where the price point would be, because it's nice to set a goal. And then let's just publish it and see what we can do. But I don't think anyone on council here is saying that they love the hedges and want to keep.
Is this twofold where we can remove the hedge first?
That's what would have to be done.
Get the hedge out of there, get the ivy out. Is that something that Public Works needs backhoe on or?
Well,
Rip it
I
out?
think Mike told me that Public Works will take care of removal
Yeah.
of the hedge. It'll take a while because there's a lot there. But if we waited till, we got the funding and we waited till maybe September or October when the dirt is a little looser, because right now I'm sure it's pretty dry.
I don't know, backhoe will probably just wrap a chain around the roof, pop them right out one at a time.
I did have a question maybe for Sergeant Anderson.
Yes.
Do we have a lot of accidents in that area?
We're talking right here.
By Centennial Park.
Centennial,
Centennial
on
Park.
nighting.
Not really. We have a lot of traffic cuts through on First Street.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't have a lot of crashes there. 99 itself, we have a lot of
Yeah.
crashes because there's no turn lane. And, we can take 2 or 3 a week sometimes that are rear enders, 2 or 3 vehicles.
well, I guess the only concern I had, if they're, because we have the hedge now, but if that's taken out and the fence is put in, is that more of a hazard or stopping cars from?
Are you talking about line of sight? Like an issue, creating a sight issue for the vehicles? you mean?
Not sight per se, a buffer, yeah.
Yeah. I can't really answer that. I mean, I don't think it would.
Okay.
I don't think that it would make a difference either way.
I think if a
That
car,
ditch is pretty.
the ditch is deep,
Okay,
and if a car hits something, I think it would stop it. But if it goes flying over.
yeah.
I don't think the hedge would slow it down. much.
Okay, okay. That was,
So, yeah,
that was the only concern I had regarding that.
so, okay, well, I just wanted to know before I proceed, because, I'm certainly busy.
Well, I appreciate everything you do around the city.
Oh,
That's for
thank
sure.
you.
And the memorial just looks beautiful. So,
And I might add that Sergeant Anderson has agreed to be the master of ceremonies this year for us at the Veterans Day ceremony.
November 11th, we shall see you down there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Awesome. If not, other city business. James, did you have something?
Just appreciate the Cub Scout pack thing being put in the newsletter. Just remind everybody that the Relay for Life is happening on July 31st for those that are inclined to want to walk out at the Windshoe Tulip Fields. The Relay for Life is coming back in a live event. There'll be lunch, and that's July 31st. I don't have the actual times, but it's a day long. And then just as a city council, I just want to recognize the loss of Dennis Peterson last week from our community. He did pass. He was on hospice with family around. So memories of him.
Thank you, James. Michelle, any other city business?
No.
Robert? Heather? Okay, then I would move for adjournment, and our next meeting would be on August 10th.
I second that.
Okay, we have a second. I need to make a motion. Either way, all those in favor? Okay, all those in favor for adjournment, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, we're We're done for this month. I get to go to the birthday party.
He was saying, the tenth is on the bottom.
I just saw a message.